Again, I'm glad we rescheduled our tentative Friendsgiving Zoom.
Yes.
Should we tell them about it?
I think that we should. I think that it's very important to talk about it because we've never done this before.
So we wanted to do like a Zoom party and make it the day after Thanksgiving. And then we thought about it, and it was like a lot of people are probably going to be zoomed out after Thanksgiving because if they're smart, and we hope they're smart, they're not largely gathering with their families indoors over some dry ass fucking turkey. So
our listeners are very smart.
We figured we would do like a Zoom event maybe like the first week of December, just because people have mentioned it in our Instagram that that's something that they would like to do. We have done it one time and it was fun.
Well, do you want to give them more details about the event?
No, because we don't have any.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have a get together. So just watch our Instagram.
Well, we gotta plan it out. And if anybody knows me well, they know I got to plan things. Justin actually telling me this the other night in one of our Twilight conversations. He was just like, I think it's really good that you're consistent with the podcast and stuff. He's like, because how many years have you spent, creating stuff and being a creative person just in your head and not putting anything out because it's not perfect. And he was like, so here you're kind of held accountable by someone else, and then you just have to do it. It is what it is, and it's got to go out, and you can't mind fuck it. And he's like, so I think that's really great. It's great for the perfectionist in you that would rather just not put anything out at all. And I was like, yeah, okay. So speaking to that, I don't want to give him any more details about the Zoom thing because I would like to plan it out to the tiniest of details, but
okay,
you can give them the loose idea if you want.
Well, basically, we just we do the lives, and it's just us talking to one another, and the community that we've built, the stuff that happens in the Facebook groups and in Patreon and just in our general Instagram feed. We've really kind of built up this nice little group of weirdos who
I call it a like-minded echo chamber.
I like, hey, listen, I will hold on to that weirdo badge for myself. Nerds, whatever you want to call yourself. A weird echo chamber. Yeah. So we wanted an opportunity to, we can't see each other in person, can't have a little meet and greet. So we're going to do a nice little Zoom show, and you can get dressed and make yourself a little cocktail or pack that bowl, and we can get on together for a little shindig. So stay tuned. So speaking of shindigs and socially distanced shit, Thanksgiving is coming up. And actually, can I just take a minute to be sentimental? Because the first time that I talked to you was the day before Thanksgiving last year.
11/19.
Oh, was it 11/19?
It was 11/19.
Oh, really?
But then we had to do it again.
Okay,
So
maybe
that
that's
day
what I'm
before
thinking of.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So technically we've been talking for a year now. Which is,
Crazy.
wow,
God damn.
very.
I don't like talking to anybody on the phone, period. So the fact that...
How about this? I'll do you one better. I don't like anybody. So Fuck talking to. I don't want to do shit. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to be nowhere. I don't want to be by somebody. I don't want to get to know nobody. I hate every goddamn thing. So this is actually a testament.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's been... I am just as curmudgeonly as they get. So this has been, for those of you that like this... Congratulations on your gift. Because I fucking hate it here. No, no, it's cool. I'm actually impressed by our level of consistency, to be honest, because I'm not a person that is going to deep dive into no creative endeavor and like stick with it. I'm not a stick with it kind of person.
See, and I think that's where it works because I will ride that horse until it falls over and dies. Like I am, but maybe that's the Taurus in me, like stubborn as fuck. We're going to figure this out. We're going to do this. We're going to make it work. And we're going to do it till we can't do it anymore. So
and they say you have to have a yin and a yang in any business endeavor, because I got ideas for days. And I'd just be like, yep, there goes another one.
Yeah, no, you got ideas and I'm like, all right, let's figure out how to execute this. But that's just, for better or for worse, that's just who I am as a person.
And that's exactly what Justin was talking about. He was like, he was, being supportive and being like, this is great. Don't you feel like you're tapping into this other person inside yourself? I was just like, you just want me to suck your dick? Because I will. That's all these compliments make me uncomfortable.
I know it can be hard to take them, but I mean, you're having fun, right?
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
I was telling you, I feel weird on Saturdays after the episode comes out, after the Friday episode goes live and the story's live and the socials have been updated. We say this all the time that I don't think people understand that it's job-ish. This is a job.
Yeah.
On Saturdays, a true day off where I don't have to multitask. So on Saturdays when we have a true day off, I feel naked and weird. I'm like, well, now what?
Right. It feels like you're missing something. Something's being forgotten about.
Oh, for sure. And I've been trying to create work to do. Maybe we should do this. And have we ever discovered this? And what if we did this? And then I'll go into a deep dive. And then because I have ADHD, be like, ooh, shit. Didn't they say I should watch The Crown? Which everyone is telling me to watch The Crown. So
it's good. I'm not that far into it. I started it a while ago, and I think I got through maybe the first handful of episodes, but it's good.
Wait, it's new or it has seasons and seasons?
It has seasons and seasons.
Oh.
Like it starts off, God, I don't even know what the year is, but it starts off when Queen Elizabeth II is a young woman, and she's dating what's his face? What's his name? What's her husband's name?
That old motherfucker who's like 95 and still alive?
Philip. She's dating Philip. And so it goes through a bit of their courtship, and then it goes through her father dying, and then her ascension to the throne. Yeah. So it starts with her as a young woman, and then goes through, I think this most recent season, we're starting into the Diana years and her courtship with Charles.
Oh, then I only need to start here because that's all I care about.
Yeah. So apparently you can just like jump in wherever. They say the people on the Facebook group are saying that you can just kind of go wherever because you don't have to be in on it. But I think that Queen Elizabeth, like that the first season or whatever, is like truly interesting about kind of like who she is as a person and who she was as a mother, and some of the things that she had to fight against, and some of the tension that it caused in her marriage early on, because she went from being somebody's wife to now all of a sudden being the queen of a country. and some of those sticky bits of like Philip having to now kind of take over. I mean, they had help, but like full-time dad. So some of that is just interesting.
He wasn't
from
doing
like
no shit. He wasn't doing no work.
yeah. But yeah, it's good.
Now, are they going to? They're going to do Diana go into her death and then do her sons? Like it goes in chronological order like that? Because I'll start at Diana.
Yeah, so it goes in chronological order. And yeah, it's just a very real look at it, at what it was like, what it's like, right? I don't know. I was listening the other day to NPR, and did you know that Gillian Anderson has a British accent? Because she's in this. I say that because she's in this latest season as Margaret Thatcher, and I had no fucking clue.
The red-haired lady?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Wait. Not the X-Files lady.
Yes, the X-Files lady.
Oh no, I didn't know that. I thought you were talking about the other red-haired lady that's named Gillian, but might be with a G. I don't know.
She is a Gillian with a G.
I thought you were talking about her. Wait, the X-Files lady is back at work?
Yes, she's playing Margaret Thatcher in this season of The Crown. And apparently she also has a show out called Sex Education that's really good. And people were like, I can't believe you haven't seen that. So now I got to go watch that.
But we're supposed to hate Margaret Thatcher is a homophobe, though. I
didn't say anything on her character. I just said she was she was playing this character in the show, and she has a British accent. Oh. I am just floored at the fact that like I had no idea this woman had a British accent.
Well, usually the ones who do the American accent really good, you can never tell. Like Travis Fimmel, who's on that HBO show that I watch.
Yeah.
Raised by Wolves.
Yeah.
He has an Australian ass accent and can do an American one so well, and doesn't like go in and out of, like, you know how sometimes people, they don't do it that great. No, he has it.
Nicole Kidman doesn't do it great.
Oh, Nicole Kidman doesn't do anything great. I'm serious. People are like, she's just an amazing actress. She is.
Nah, I don't love it.
I think I could have done without her in Big Little Lies, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't think. I mean, it could have been a different lady, and it would have been better. Just because I don't believe her.
No,
I don't know why. Is it her plastic surgery?
It could be. She really just has a frozen face.
Yeah, and like, because Eric the Vampire was playing the shit out of that role.
I love him so much. I was so happy.
I love him so much.
Put him in the stories the other day.
I love him, and I was
too.
just like, this is not a good charisma on-screen pairing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that was, and I loved Big Little Lies. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really like most of the motherfuckers in that thing.
I hated what's her face that had the little boy named Ziggy, Shailene something or other.
And she's really famous from other stuff that I don't watch either.
I did not love her in that role. The only person I really liked was Reese Witherspoon and Zoe Kravitz.
And I thought I love Zoe Kravitz a lot, but I didn't think that was her part. Sorry.
Yeah, but she was like
Witherspoon
a good...
plays the shit out of that person, though. Because that's who I think she really is. I think
it's
she
like
really
busybody.
Is meddlesome and stank.
Yeah.
Yes. I just didn't believe that Zoe Kravitz, that character and that person, would go out with that guy.
Yeah. I don't know, though. I never really thought that much about it. I just thought she was a good foil to Reese Witherspoon's character, like in every way.
And I also felt like, I don't know, I just thought she would not hang out with those women at all.
Ever. No. I think it was just kind of one of those things where, like, you ever found yourself in a in a group of people just by circumstance of like who you happen to be with?
You mean my whole life?
Like, I think she was just forced into that relationship with those women, just given the fact that she was those kids' stepmom. And so she had a role in parenting them when they had the kids. And so just because of that stupid fact, she was also in these women's world.
Yeah.
It would be really hard, especially to come in as a stepmom to like preteen, teenage kids. They don't fucking want you around.
I'm not doing that.
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to get to know you and shit. But then I have to get to know you because now if I don't get to know you, I'm this bitch that took your dad away. I'm not dealing with all that. Sir, no, we can be friends. I can't do this with you. I don't want to. And the other thing is I'm not being a stepmom to no child. Where's your wife at? Is that wrong?
I don't know. I've never had, I mean, I am sure that I mean, you see those things all the time, like the things, you ever see those things on Instagram where like somebody is like a young adult or a teenager and they fill out the adoption papers for their parent to fully adopt them, in situations where maybe the biological parent is absent. Like that's some heartwarming shit.
I'd be crying at all those.
Yeah,
I'd be crying at all that shit. Do you ever wonder what your life would be if you didn't get married and didn't have kids when you did?
Oh, God. No, I've never thought about that. I never really wanted kids. I remember being in college classes listening to these two girls. I think I was like in an English class, and these two girls were already engaged. And I want to say we were like young as fuck, maybe like still juniors. I mean, not even close to graduating. And I remember thinking like, wow, what a fucking lame life you're gonna have. You fucking idiot. You just spent all this money on your college education, or your parents did, and you're getting engaged and you want to go fucking have babies? Who are you? Why? What a waste. And I didn't have kids or get married right. I mean, I did get married young, but we waited for 5 years after we got married to have kids. So we did shit. We traveled but that just seemed so gross to me for a very long time. And it wasn't really until we got married in 2006, I really didn't have any desire to like have kids, probably until I want to say like 2008 was kind of when I first got that itch. Like, okay, I think I could do this now.
Wow. Because I always wanted kids.
Did you really?
Yes. And then, oh, I have a story. I always wanted kids, even in the face of like dating guys who clearly were not marriage material or father material. I still, in my own personal body, was like, I'll fucking have his child, I guess. So like when it started to become clear that Justin had his shit together and would be a good dad and a good provider and a good life person, someone I could deal with, someone who could deal with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was trying to get pregnant before we got married.
Really?
I mean, I was not trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And before we got married, I already knew we were going to have to go through a lot of shit to get pregnant, because I was like, how have we been together this long and there's been no accidents? Like, this ain't right.
Yeah.
So I knew it was probably going to be an uphill battle. But I did always want kids, even when I had, derelict-ass, dumbass boyfriends. I knew I wanted children. And I knew I wanted, that life. House, husband, baby. I wanted to do shit in order. I wanted to put it all on paper nice and neat and do it in order. Maybe, yeah, I'm a corny bitch. I don't know. That's what I...
I don't think that's corny at all. I think that's interesting. So like how young were you when you just like when you felt like that was kind of what you wanted your life path to be?
I think that a lot of it came from Marlene was a teen mom, and I have been around babies since I'm young. So my nephew came into my life when I was 14.
Oh, wow.
And I just loved everything about the baby. I wanted to hold the baby. I wanted to change the baby. I wanted to bathe the baby. My baby's sleeping. Like, I just loved that baby. And I felt, I don't know why, but I just felt instantly good at it. And I think Marlene must have been in a deep, undiagnosed state of postpartum depression. And as a young person, as a teenager even, you know, here I am, I'm 14. I'm seeing my sister in a cloud, in a fog. You know, I'm seeing her like not that interested. And I would be like, I'll do it. It's okay, I'll do it. Like I just stepped up.
Yeah.
And then one day it was just like in passing a comment that she made. I'm going to say she looked on the brink of tears. I was bathing the baby. I took the baby out. I laid the baby down. And there was an oscillating fan going, Florida. Turned the fan off. Started, you know, drying the baby, putting lotion on him. And she looked over and she was like, you're really good at this. And at 14, 15, I was just like, in that moment, I was like, this is going to be the thing I do. Which is fucking crazy because then I had a wild 20s. You know what I'm saying? I had a wild young adulthood where children would not ever be in the picture.
Yeah.
But that had always been in the back of my mind. So when I finally did get pregnant and finally did have Shalom and excelled at that thing, you know, like where most like that message that society tells you, where if you're career driven as a woman, that children are going to fuck that up for you.
Yeah.
And you should be wary of that. Mm-hmm. I just didn't have that because all that stuff was still in my periphery. It was still, you know, I still had that access to that world. And I was like, bah, I think I just want to be a mom.
Yeah.
And I got super hardcore into it. And then I remember one of Justin's friends. We weren't married yet, but one of Justin's friends, you know, I wanted to get married. I wanted to, and you know, he was taking a long time to get to that. And we were at a diner, and one of his friends was like, really? You want to be married and have kids? You want to have kids? And just the way he said it, you want to have kids? You? Do you understand, like, what it takes to be a mom? I was like, I do, actually. And he was like, okay, but you want to be a mom? Like, you know how much work that is? You just don't you don't strike me as a person that would, you know, like, be a mom. And that shit pissed me off so bad. When I tell you I hated this motherfucker for years, like, would not go to, I was like, is that motherfucker gonna be there? Because remember when he said I'm not a mom? And this was when I was not a mom. I was like, remember when he said I can't have kids and I shouldn't have kids and I don't understand what it's like to be? He's like, Melissa, dude, we were all really young when he said, I said, I don't care. He had an image in his mind that I'm not a person that should be somebody's mother, and that shit offended me to my core.
Yeah.
He later apologized, years and years later. I'm talking like we were both families and had 2 kids deep, and he randomly brought it up. He's like, you remember a long time ago?
And you were like,
at
yes.
the diner? Yep. I said, yes, I do. Is there something you would like to say to me? But he really apologized. He's like, I fucking should have never said that to you. And he's like, and I have thought about that day. I was like, wow.
Good for him, though.
Right. That he knew.
Yeah,
in
that
hindsight.
he fucked up.
I remember that shit.
I think when I got pregnant, I think my mom was very much like, Dad, I don't know how this is going to go. Which is funny because I'm like so responsible, and I am such the person that's like, I'm never one to like back down when things get difficult. I'm not one to like crumble when faced with obstacles. Like if anything, I just double down and like try harder. But I think my mom was really concerned at first because I also am very protective of my sleep. And she was just like, I don't know how this is going to go. But,
Oh, so she didn't think you were prepared for motherhood.
I don't think so.
And did you feel a way about that?
It kind of pissed me off because, like I said, I wasn't a quitter. I'm not a quitter. So it was one of those things where I was like, yes, I am protective of my sleep and I behave a certain way now, but like also I'm a 27-year-old person who doesn't have to fucking do anything except for show up for work and take my dog out to poop and pee. Like, so I'm not sure like what was expected of me or what, and I think that they thought that I was selfish, but again, why wouldn't I be? I'm a 27-year-old person
Right.
with nothing else to worry about. I think that that could be said about anybody. So yeah, that was, I think that she was a little surprised.
You were a young mom though. 20 something is young.
Yes. I was 27, when I got pregnant with Quinn. And the only one, I've said this before, but like the only one, I had one other friend who was expecting and she was due in October before I was. So it was like it was also a weird place to be because I didn't have anybody, like I didn't have a circle of mom friends to rely on or to navigate things with. So it was just kind of like very, uncharted territory, just figuring out shit on our own.
And I the circle of mom friends things, I think with social media and like the way that the internet works, there's a big importance put on that, like finding your mom tribe. And I got pregnant at a time when I deeply and strongly liked a few women in my life who also happened to be pregnant. So it wasn't like I got to find my mom tribe where I just, buddied up and coupled up with random women who also use the reproductive system. Like, I don't know who you bitch. But I just, I got lucky in that, like I met Megan when she was all the way already pregnant.
Yeah.
And she was like my breastfeeding guru. And I met Maria before I met Maria before I was even married. And she was like newly married, and then, we were pregnant at the same time. So it was just like a natural progression that we would become mom friends, but we're real friends before we became mom friends.
Yeah.
So like for you as a 27-year-old somebody, nobody in your peer group was having kids. So you were just off on your lonely island. Wow.
Yeah. There was this really nice place. So we took hypnobirthing classes in preparation for having Quinn. And the woman that ran the classes also ran a place down in Northside, which is, people here will know what I'm talking about, but it's a little suburb, like just right outside the city of Cincinnati. Very like funky, very gay, very liberal. It's just a nice vibe, very diverse place in town. Anyways, she co-owned this old Victorian house with this other woman. And in this house, it was called the Cincinnati Family Enrichment Center. Yeah. And so you could go and take classes. They would have like breastfeeding classes. They would have cloth diapering classes, like all of that crunchy mom shit, baby wearing and all that stuff. So I kind of found that as like the place where I would go if I wanted to be around other moms. So I signed Quinn up for like a tummy time class. So like every Wednesday morning we'd go down, you do tummy time with the lady there. And then they had like a little cafe at the back of the house. And so everybody could sit around and talk. And it was nice. And it was a nice like opportunity for me to get out of the house and do something with her, and talk to other moms, but I never really felt like I fit in, even though I believed in a lot of the things. that they did in terms of like, you know, raising children and like caring for babies and attachment parenting, but I never felt like I was like, what do I say, crunchy enough. That community can be very, I don't know. There was no middle ground. It was either like you didn't vax, you co-slept, you breastfed, you cloth diapered, you made your own baby food. Like you either did all that shit or you didn't. And also my social
anxiety. Which is crazy. Because if I had to put together an idea of who you are just based on, you know, a year's worth of talking to you once a week, I would say you're one of the crunchiest motherfuckers I know. You know what I mean?
But to them, I wasn't. And maybe that's all in my head. Maybe that was like a narrative that I was writing just because I never felt like I really fit in. But you know, it was the drug-free natural birthing crowd, and that was the home birthers, and I sit in the middle of a lot of that. I think that a lot of those things are the best way to raise a baby, and a lot of the things that we chose to do. But at the same time, there were some things that I didn't participate in and didn't do. And so I just kind of like sat to the back and kept myself, you know, out of those conversations because I didn't want to have to explain myself, because I knew, I mean, some of those moms feel very passionately about what they believe in.
Oh yeah, totally. No, I could see that, because I also, you know, I have a level of crunchy, but I'm also not, you know, I'm fucking the earth up. I'm throwing diapers out. I'm not doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I breastfeed, I co-sleep. And you know what is crazy is moms do start to only go where, you know, there's like a self-segregation of moms when you start doing those mommy and me's and shit like that, where they only hang out with each other. So like you can clearly see who the wine moms are, who they want to give this impression that, you know, motherhood is their life, but also I still look cute and I'm still wearing these liquid leggings and, you know, high heels, and my tits are, you know, sitting up and I have red lipstick on and I'm still a me first kind of person, you know?
Yeah.
There are those. And then there are the ones where, you know, that bitch really woke up at 6 a.m. and made her child's food today, and that's why she looked crazy right now. And like you could just tell in those settings like where you're gonna fit in and where you're gonna be. And like a lot of times I've always felt like I'm not any of these two. But I think every mom has that weird narrative in her own mind that she is not like these other moms and she doesn't fit into this world, and she couldn't go here with that mom because that mom does this and that. She couldn't go here with this mom because it is probably a dumbass conversation that all of us have with ourselves, when the reality is we all had fucking kids. This shit is hard.
Yeah.
And we're kind of all in the same boat.
Yeah. Were you ever afraid? I remember, so I used to, well, I belly danced for a while in my 20s, and I remember maybe it was like shortly after I had announced or told people that I was pregnant, and one of the girls from dance was like, "Oh, don't like have a kid and become lame." And that sat with me for a really long time, because I thought, oh God, is having a kid gonna make me like an uninteresting, boring, like lame person? And I really kind of like tried to fight against that for a while, because I also don't feel like that's my defining characteristic or the only, you know, part about me that's interesting. Did you ever worry, or did you ever struggle with like maintaining your sense of self, or like things that make you in the face of motherhood?
I never, you know what's weird is I I was friends with, obviously I am currently and always will be friends with gay men, not necessarily because, I'm a person who her personality is, propped up by her relationships with gay men and nothing like that. It's just that, I had very close gay men friends at the time that I got pregnant, and there was a concern among that group that I would no longer be cool or interesting. And I remember thinking to myself, no, bitch, this is just a phase of my life that I'm going to have to go through. Perhaps one day you'll get there, and if and when you do, I'll be there to guide your monkey ass. Shut up. And I was like, but, I'm still going to always be me. I just, grew a person in my body, and now I have to take care of that person. So I, at the same time that I feel like my children have totally shaped the direction of my life and who I am today, I do really feel that. I also feel like many of the elements of who I am would still be in place whether or not I had them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have that thing where I'm like, well, I'm a mom, so I can't do X, Y, and Z now. Like, yeah, bitch, I smoke. Shit. I got a prescription card. Don't worry. And like that whole weird mom culture, I wish I could explain. I feel like I'm not explaining it right. Like, I don't want anything to do with that. I think it's cool when I can, connect with another person who has children and we can talk about that. But I also don't feel like that's all I care about.
Right.
It's a major part of my life and I fucking really care a lot. But also, I don't care at all times. I don't.
No, I think that that's a healthy place to be, because if you look at it, if you looked at the timeline of your life, it's such a small blip. It's depressing. It's depressing as fuck to think about. It's such a small blip of your life. I think all the time, every time the kids have a birthday, in my head, I do that mental countdown to 20. And I think about, oh boy, I don't want to cry, but I think about how little time we actually have. And at some point, they're going to be gone, and they're not, it's not even when they leave the house, but I know that I'm staring down the barrel of a gun when I think about the time when my kids don't want to be up in here with me anymore. They don't want to do stuff with me. They don't want to cuddle with me. They don't want to watch a movie with me. And if I don't maintain that sense of self outside of who I am as their mom, I think that that's where a lot of women get into trouble once their kids leave and go to college, or they move out and, find jobs and what have you, because they haven't taken that time over those last 20 years to like nurture actually the things that like feed them and make them feel good. And I think maybe it applies to both stay-at-home moms and moms who work outside the house, because if you work outside the house, there's even less time for you because you're devoting so much of your time to your career. And if that's not the thing that drives you or defines you as a person, then you've really got to figure out, ways that you can carve that time out and explore it in what little free time you do have.
Yeah, I feel like I'm living in a weird dichotomy, like a weird oxymoron of who I think I am and how I present, and how I think I'm presenting and what people really see. Like, I'm sure people really see, oh, that bitch got a lot of kids and she be taking care of her kids. Like, that's probably all they see. And in my mind, I'm like, I have all of these other interests. I do all of these other things. I know about that rap group. What are you saying? I don't. And at the same time, because I really feel like rearing children is one of my strengths, is one of the things I'm good at. And I'm not saying I'm the best mom. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I'm a good ass problem solver when it comes to, juggling 3 different age children at 3 different, they're all very different little people. And I feel like I am the best person to guide them through this life while honoring each one for who she is and where she is at in this life. Like it could only be me. I'm one of those people that's real protective and micromanagey and controlling about the experience my children get in their childhood from me, the person. You know, I'm not a person that wants to dole those responsibilities out to others. And I also am really careful about who I bring around my kids, because that's also their personal experience, you know?
Yeah.
So the moms I bring around my kids and the kinds of people I bring around my kids, it's all calculated. It's all super specific. I feel like if and when my kids go and that part of my identity is no longer being fulfilled or needed, I already know that I'm going to be the grandmother who does everything. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like, I'm going to take care of my grandkids so that Shalom can go to work. I already have that in my mind. I got to fucking stay fit. I got to be able to get up and down on the floor. It sounds so stupid, but like in my mind, I say, I want to be able to help my daughters take care of their kids.
Yeah.
So that they can go be whole other women outside of their children. So like, it's like a fucking, what do you call that?
The Russian nesting dolls?
Yeah. It's that. I already know. That's what it's going to be. And they're all, we're going to pop the top off of me and everybody's going to pour right back in. That's how I think of it. And that probably seems so depressing to like a career-minded person.
No, I mean, that's really deep. I haven't gotten that far, but that's super deep.
So and that's why I was saying it sounds oxymoronic for a person who really doesn't think that her children are the end all be all of her life. The fact of the matter is, my children and my children's children, and God willing, my children's children's children will be my life.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't sound sad or depressing to me, because I've never shut off the thing in my mind that is, who is Jess Melissa without these things?
Yeah.
Just Melissa without these things. I don't fucking know who I am and what I am to other people, but it's somebody. So I can still do me accurately.
Yeah.
And fulfill this other. I probably sound crazy as hell. I'm not even high, and I probably sound crazy as hell.
No, you don't. You don't.
I don't know, but that's why I also feel like a lot of things lined up for it to be this way. Like the paths chosen and then the paths not chosen. A lot of things sort of like, it was just a giant hand in the universe. So it was like, no, Melissa, you're actually not going to excel at that. This is the thing you're going to excel at. So go do that.
Yeah.
Go do that. It wasn't like a consolation prize. Like how some people are like, that didn't work out. So she just, became a mom. It really wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It was that. And you were asking me earlier, like, what about your childhood experiences feed that? And I think the entire childhood experience has created the person that I am today.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that my mom and I have obviously different parenting styles, but my mom is also, Asian as fuck. I mean, I'm just...
What does that mean? What does that mean? Because I don't have many Asian people in my life. So to have a mom that's Asian as fuck, like, what does that mean? Is it different for like different parts of the globe? Like, are Japanese moms different than Chinese moms, different than Malaysian moms?
I don't even mean it in that kind of specificity. When I talk about it, I'm talking about it just on a pure, this is a unique and only my experience. My mom is a unique person in that there was a lot that I had to learn on my own Not because my mom was not a good mom. My mom was an excellent mom, but there was a lot that I had to learn on my own because it just wasn't, I wasn't micromanaged as a child. I wasn't taken to the soccer game on Tuesday and the ballet on Friday and, had the mommy and me. None of that was happening.
Yeah.
My mom was cooking 3 square meals a day, changing diapers, cleaning floors, and we were just there. And oddly enough, my mom was also a preschool teacher at some point in time in my childhood. So she was nurturing, but also at the same time busy. So I don't remember. And, there was also that whole, blip on the timeline where my father was a raging alcoholic. So, I'm sure that has a lot to do with my memory or non-memory of a child. But I've struggled actually with I love my mom intensely, but I also feel like that's what I know. So I'm not going to say I was a motherless child, but I definitely do not have the experience that, like, say you would have, where you remember parts of your mom, controlling aspects of, how you dress, controlling aspects of where you're allowed to go and your schedule as a child.
Right.
That was related to your childhood development. I didn't have any of that. So it does inform why I am the way I am with Shalom and Maj and Shira.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always sometimes envied white women who have these really complex treacherous relationships with their moms. And I'm like, wait, you mean you can have a linear conversation with your mom? I'm dead ass serious. Like where you probably just, let's say I just chose this random thing out of a hat. I'm going to say, Amanda, recall a time where, your mom was controlling about something you really, really wanted to wear and it affected your whole whatever the fuck. I bet you have something on the tip of your tongue.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Tell it to me.
Oh, I wanted so badly to wear, we had these friends and we were going out to dinner for Christmas Eve, and my mom had and I can't remember the outfit now, but whatever my mom had chosen felt very babyish and felt very uncool. So I was old enough to recognize and be self-aware of like how I presented to other people. So probably like close to preteens. And the thing that she was wearing, I obviously did not want to wear. And I was asking, because we were going with friends, well, what are her daughters wearing? And she told me, and they were wearing Abercrombie sweaters. And I remember my mom saying that they were too expensive. Like we could not afford that level of clothing. And feeling insanely jealous and also incredibly slighted that like those girls were going to get to wear this thing that was, in my head, obviously cooler than whatever dumbass outfit, secondhand store shit my mom was going to make me wear. And being angry that I was going to show up looking, uncool or ugly or whatever.
Yeah, so that tiny little snippet in time has really shaped all of the way you are with Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
So, she wants to wear ugly Justice clothes. They are a little overpriced. You're going to get them for her because you remember when Linda wouldn't get you that Abercrombie sweater.
Right.
So I have that too, but I have it from a place where I'm like, wow, I couldn't even have that argument with my mom because my mom doesn't give a fuck. Doesn't know about it, doesn't care about it. What are you talking about clothes? There's clothes in the drawer. So when I say Asian as fuck.
Yeah.
That's what I hope I'm not like offending anybody here who, grew up with an Asian mom. Asian mom experience is different for everybody, but there are some universalities to it. Where, the things that other girls growing up with these very intense relationships with their moms have, we're kind of navigating those things on our own, because even trying to explain that shit to an Asian mom, She'd be like, "Who Abercrombie? What is? I don't even know. You have sweater right here." Like it wouldn't even be. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I couldn't even. I would have no leg to stand on because it would just be like, yeah. And then there's no go to your dad because my dad also did not give a fuck. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
So, having gotten a second mother, this is where mothers-in-law come into the picture. Having gotten when Burnett cares a lot about what's going on in my life,
Yeah.
in a detailed way, sometimes it makes me uncomfortable because I'm just like, these are really details that, why do you care? Like nobody would ask me that. Like, what are you saying? You know, like she wants to know how my day was just because. My mom would never call me and ask me how's my day. Like that would just, to this day, my mom calls me and, you know, she wants to talk about whatever it is she wants to talk about. There's not necessarily going to be a linear conversation going on. And I'm going to be talking to her about, you know, she just painted the garage. She pressure washed the whatever. She loved the pictures I sent of Shira. It's not ever going to be like, what's going on in your life? How are you doing? How did this affect you emotionally? Like, we're not having that level of engagement.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, it's so incredibly different. Like hearing you sometimes talk about things that happened with your parents, and it's so interesting culturally, I think, how differently, because I guess, you know, you just kind of sit in your own little world and think about all of the stupid shit that your parents did to you and how you can't stand it. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's, you know, hopefully loved and well taken care of, but that emotional, cerebral aspect of it is so different. Have you ever tried like having those conversations, or you're just not interested? Like you find that kind of connection elsewhere if you want it?
Yeah, there have been a lot of time, and probably other women who are listening that have Asian mom. There's also a thing about Asian mom that's deeply secretive. So we could know our moms intimately and not know a single thing about, you know, how they felt on their wedding day, how they felt giving birth to their third child, because the details are lost. And I've tried to figure it out with maybe if it's a native tongue thing. Like maybe if I spoke Tagalog, I could get on this level with my mom. Marlene does, and is still not on that level. So it's not a language thing. They are just, and I shouldn't say, this is not a blanket statement about all Asian moms, I don't know, but there's just a deep presence. So like, you know, why are you asking me about that in the past? They can't even tap into that. My mom can't tap into that. So when I'm like, Mom, you know, when you were pregnant, how did you feel? Or, you know, when were you worried about the delivery? It's just all, she's like, what? Like, why are you asking these dumb things? Like, I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, I wish I could explain it. And I've read books, you know, I was like, because I did a lot of therapy, and I've read books about, you know, being a motherless child. And all of those books are geared towards adult women who are either raised by an absent mother, like their mom wasn't in the picture at all, their mom was a sociopath, their mom was a narcissist, or their mom died of cancer when they were 7, and so they've had to navigate this new motherless life. I haven't been able to find the thing where I deeply love my mother, and I know for a fact that my mother deeply loves me, but there is still a disconnect on a woman-to-woman level, because of culturally, you know, the way that they deal or don't deal with feelings. I don't know. So I'm not a motherless adult child.
Right.
And I revere Mercy. Anybody that knows me knows. Like, I fucking love my mom. But I don't know her in ways that, like, you would know your mom.
Well, and
You know what I
maybe, oh yeah. I mean, when you were talking about like asking your mom about, being pregnant or getting ready for birth, like I was like freshly pregnant with Quinn, and I received the book, What to Expect When You're Expecting. And my mom had found the one that she had with me. And I received like all of the little pamphlets that she received in 1982 when she was pregnant, like as like, oh, isn't this funny? Take a look at these. This is what I was given when I was pregnant with you. So I wonder if maybe you hadn't grown up in the States for the bulk of your childhood, maybe growing up in the Philippines for the bulk of your adolescence and childhood or whatever, maybe you would feel differently about it because the other kids would also be raised by Asian moms. I don't know. Like maybe think differently because you have, I don't know.
I don't know. I know that my mom probably has like a lot of trauma in her life.
Yeah.
And in locking that trauma away in order to get the work of motherhood done, that is probably what really all of this is. Mm-hmm. So like, every Filipino mom will say, I walked 10 miles in the snow to go do my, first of all, it didn't snow, but okay. Every daughter of a Filipino lady has that. But I mean, there's the variation. How many girls I know who they had a Filipino mom who was all up in their business and all in their life like that, but they still don't know deep personal shit about their mom.
Yeah.
And I think that that's probably why I'm probably an oversharer, just because I don't want my kids to not know me. Because I want to know my mom. I'm interested in knowing my mom, but then there's a weird comfort in maintaining our dynamic as it is, So when my mom calls me and tells me there's a sale on fucking turkey meat, we're going to talk about that shit.
Yeah.
Because that's who she is and that's what she wants to talk about. And my mom is super random. Like, and that's part of the magic of Mercy is she's super random and warm and makes you feel invited and loved, but at the same time there's not a thing about Mercy. Yeah. So it's like a weird, she's a fucking mystery. Can't even.
It's so interesting.
If I had to fucking write a memoir, I would have the hardest time accessing how to articulate a very deep love for my parents while at the same time feeling like I literally do not know them. That's fucking crazy. That's bananas. But like, I feel like Justin probably doesn't know shit about his parents, and his parents are meddlesome as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I think it just depends probably person to person. Because I don't think Chris knows a ton about his parents either. Huh. That's so interesting. I don't think I've ever had these kinds of conversations with another adult before about, I mean, people will bitch about their parents and complain about, what they're doing or not doing or what have you, but I don't have a super deep, close relationship with my mom, but.
And see, what's weird is I automatically think that you do, because your mom shows up to the Monday Night Live. Your mom is tapping the heart on Instagram. I know things about your mom and how she raised you. I know things about, Linda's preferences. Linda eats Thin Mints, Girl Scout. Like, these very specific tiny details that you can access very easily about your mom lead me to believe that you have a super tight, close relationship with her. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I think what's really happening is you could have, hypothetically, a surface relationship with your mom, but because you know all these random factoids, I automatically ascribe that to, she definitely knows everything about her mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the things I know about my mom are super general things that I've gleaned over the years. Like, you know, Mom Mercy loves JCPenney. Like, that's a fact. You know, like, obviously, you know, I know what my mom likes to eat.
Yeah.
You know, because eating is a part of life, and a thing that you do with your, it's literally one of the only things you can do with your parents.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I have a friend, and he started dating a Filipino guy, and he was like, I'm gonna go meet his Filipino mom, and I don't know why I said, oh, you guys are gonna go out to eat, and I was like, and she's going to order the tilapia. I just promise you that she's gonna order the tilapia that comes in the bag. I don't know why, but that's what she's gonna get. This motherfucker texted me back and was like, Melissa, why did his mom order the tilapia in the bag? I was like, because she's a fucking Filipino. Because that's what they do. I would be curious. I would like to talk to other Filipino adult women who have this knowing and not knowing of their mom.
It's fascinating just hearing you talk about it. Ask imperfectstrangers@gmail.com if you have a Filipino mom.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is like research because
you ever Google connecting with an Asian mom?
yeah. And you know what's weird too is I'll look at, like, when you look at old pictures of your mom, you could say, Linda, what day was this?
Yeah.
Linda could have a whole, picture this. Rainy day, 1984. Me and your dad had just done this, this, and that. Like, she would have a whole chronological memory of that time. If I look at an old picture of my mom, I go, Mom, when was this? She would go, oh, I'm so stylish. Oh my God. But that'd be it. I'd be like, do you know where you were? Do you know where? Oh, Daddy think I'm so sexy. Okay. Do you know where you were? Do you know what day this was? I don't know, but your dad, oh my God. He loved my legs. I'm like, okay, where the fuck were you that day? And after that point, I get so frustrated that I'm like, okay, so from this picture, we can glean that my mother was a stylish motherfucker. Next picture. That's what it's like to look at old photos with her.
Oh my God.
So just no factual information.
Yeah.
And this was illuminated, which I tried to tell Justin, like, you're not going to be able to get to know my mom in a way that, like, I could sit down with Burnett and be like, where'd you go to high school and who was your friends? And when my mom came to visit, and, her love language is cooking a lot of food that you've never had before. So, we took her to the Chinese supermarket. She bought everything she needed. And Justin is, like, trying really hard because he already doesn't really understand her well. Mm-hmm. I mean, and when I say understand, I mean, like, the words coming out of her mouth. He has to really intently listen and be like, what?
Yeah.
So, she's cooking, and normal people, oh, where'd you get this recipe from? When did you learn how to cook this? How, so these are all what I believe to be softball questions.
Yeah.
My mom will just go down a list. So then everybody love it because it's so many colors. You got carrot, you put tomato, sometimes I do pork. Okay, but where did you learn this recipe? From whom did you get so those detailed questions, my mom's not hearing all that. So Kalapo, you try it. You think it's good? You like to eat it? Yeah. Where the fuck? So after a while, you just vibe with her on her level. You don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I would get so frustrated just trying to, like, pull information out. And I'd be like, maybe my mom just doesn't give a fuck about answering your question. She's telling you what you need to hear, and that's it.
I mean, maybe that's a lesson that we could all take from. Mercy's Guide to Not Giving a Fuck.
Okay. Hey there. You made it through another episode of Imperfect Strangers Podcast. And I don't know, guys, I'm getting a really weird feeling. I'm getting a feeling like maybe this is your favorite podcast. I don't know why I feel that way, but if that is the case, which I really think it might be, if you could kindly let other people know by leaving us a rating and a review, 5 stars only. Go ahead and log into that little Apple Podcast app on your phone, or, wherever you go on your real computer who does that. Leave us a rating and a review because it helps us. It helps people find us. It helps, our self-esteem, if you're into that sort of thing. So do that because we love that. And now this is the part where I tell you all the other places for you to find us. Really important, most important place to find us besides the places that play our podcast, Instagram. Instagram is a great way to really enjoy this podcast because it's where you get the interactive story, which will show you behind the scenes photos and little visuals to help you through the episode. It's also where we host our Monday night lives, so you listen to the episode on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday repeatedly. I'm not saying you got to do it a bunch of times, but repeatedly you listen to the episode, and then you come and you show up at the Monday night live around 7, where Amanda and I get together and we discuss what happened in the episode, or whatever else. Last week we played Cards Against Humanity, and it was a good time. So you do want to go to those. If you miss those, you can always join us on our Patreon. Select a tier. Depending on the tier you get, you're going to get to see Monday Night Lives that you may have missed. You're going to get bonus content, episodes you've never heard before, a newsletter. There's all kind of stuff going on in the Patreon. Click around in there. And if you join the Patreon at any tier, you get access to our close friends list on Instagram. You'll get a little green ring, and you can start to see stuff that other people can't see. I personally like to be in the know and like to have access to shit don't nobody got access to. So that is what you want to do. Follow us on Twitter. We have a private Facebook community that you can join us at, which is also a lot of fun. A lot of like-minded ladies. We're in there having a good time. A few dudes in there too. Y'all have been great. Your masculinity has not yet been toxic, so we hadn't had to kick any of y'all motherfuckers out. So thank you for your good behavior. And that's it. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope our moms don't find this episode, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for continuing to support the show. We really love that. It is great. Thank you so much. We can't wait to keep putting out more content special for you. I don't know why I just started talking like a robot, but we will see you next week, Friday. We'll see you again on Monday. If you're on our Patreon, we'll see you on Wednesday. So, it's 5 days a week, 7 days a week. Imperfect Strangers Podcast on that ass. Buy our merch. You know what I'm saying? Do something. Just make it a nice holiday for somebody. Buy merch for them. And then it helps us. I'm just saying. Have a great day.